Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be doing a squad builder, a 1 million MT squad builder in this video today. So if you guys have 1 million MT and are wondering where should I kind of spend up on, where should I save up on, this video is for you guys. Or if you're just looking for suggestions, lineup suggestions for your squad, this could be the video for you as well. But before we dive into this specific video, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smashing that subscribe button as we are on the road to 60,000 subscribers. The recent support has been absolutely absurd. Truly cannot thank each and every one of you guys enough. But guys, honestly, the point guard position is probably the most important position on the basketball court. Most of you guys know this as well. So with the starting point guard, we're going to go with a guy that I absolutely love. And that guy is Grant Hill. Now, the thing is, this Grant Hill is a dark matter. He does go for, right around that 300, a little under 300K price point. But trust me when I say Grant Hill is worth every bit of it, at least for me. I like his release. I get he's got jump shot 1, but I don't mind his release. He's got Hall of Fame Showtime. He's got the Pro 3 moving behind the back. Current gen, next gen, I don't care what you are. Grant Hill is good. People can say whatever they want about Grant Hill not being good on next gen. I love Grant Hill. Current gen, next gen, again, it doesn't matter. Talk about my favorite point guard in the game. It is this Dark Matter Grant Hill card. I love the Pink Diamond Grant Hill. When I use this Dark Matter Grant Hill, he is just another level of good. Just the way he moves, as good as he is on defense, 6'8". I just love the card all around. He is going to be my starting point guard. Now, a lot of times I like to pair my point guard. You'll see with my bench, okay? My bench, I'll talk about what I'm doing. But with my starting shooting guard, we're going to go with the guy on a big-time budget in Pink Diamond Malik Sealy. Now, you could get Malik Sealy for super cheap. And when I mean super cheap, 10, 15K. Probably, I think he's right around 10K, honestly. Malik Sealy. And trust me, he is literally a mini Kawhi Leonard. Not quite as good as Kawhi. I don't want to sit here and say that. But he's a mini Kawhi Leonard. Talk about my favorite shooting guard, small forward, currently on my no money spent squad, where I got guys like Clyde Drexler, Obi Toppin, those types of players. Malik Sealy is my favorite out of all of them. He really, truly is. He's really like that. And it's not the fact that Malik Sealy is going to be super noticeable. He's going to be super good on offense. It's just the fact that he's got a nice release, incredible on defense, has Hall of Fame Showtime, can handle the ball a little bit. Like, there's no flaws in this Malik Sealy card. There's just truly not. And you pair him right along with Grant Hill. Both these dudes are 6'8". You don't have to use Malik Sealy that much on the offensive end. As long as he can knock down open shots and give you that occasional Hall of Fame Showtime dunk, what else could you possibly want out of your shooting guard? I mean, Malik Sealy's going to defend at a high level, as well as just be a good two guard to Grant Hill. At my starting small forward position, we are going to spend up a little bit once again in Galaxy Opal Andre Kirilenko. Now, this squad, both current gen and next gen, so far is very, very solid. Now, this squad is primarily for those on current gen, but next gen suggestions are here as well. AK-47 has a I think its release is base 98 on quick, I think is exactly what it is. The only part about this AK card that I'm not a huge fan of on current gen is the fact that he does have the Hall of Fame steady shooter. Next gen, that does turn to blinders. But forget about that for a second. AK-47 is 6'9", can defend at an elite level. Okay, it's elite. His defense is very elite. And the thing is, he can knock down open shots. He doesn't have Hall of Fame Showtime, and that is something that I wish AK definitely came with. Even with those two things that I'm not a massive fan of, I'm still super high on Andre Kirilenko. You're going to have to spend 150K to get the card, but as far as small forwards are concerned, he is one of my favorites. Moving on to our power forward position, we're going to look at a guy here at the power forward position. Now, for me, honestly, the power forward position is probably one of the tougher positions in the game because a lot of people run reward cards here at the power forward position, whether you're looking at a guy like, let's say, Danny Ferry or Obi Toppin. Everybody runs, not everybody, but a lot of people run reward cards at the power forward position. Now, for me personally, guys, no reward cards are going to be used here. Otherwise, I'd plug in Danny Ferry, all those cards, but that's not realistic. We're going to go with the guy that isn't talked about enough for what he gives you in pink diamond Draymond Green. Now, when I say what he gives you, what does Draymond give you on the court? You guys might wonder. Draymond is, again, super cheap. Not Malik Sealy cheap, but, 25, 30, 40K. 25 to 35K, I'm guessing, is what you can get Draymond for. I looked all these cards up earlier just to make sure they fit in the squad. But again, super cheap. Draymond and AK combined, you're going to be able to get them for less than 200K. Malik Sealy and Grant Hill combined, you're looking at 300K. So that's what we're looking at so far. 500K is what our kind of budget is like. But Draymond Green, an absolute knockdown shooter on current gen. He's a lot better on current gen. With his release, that is absolutely butter. Now, he does step in once in a while. But yeah, knockdown from the three-point line. Hall of Fame range, I do believe. Defensively gets some incredible animations. There's those types of players such as like a Kawhi Leonard that you guys are just going to notice gets crazy animation. LeBron's another one. Draymond Green gets some of the craziest defensive animations I have ever seen. And I don't know if there's a better player build in the game than Draymond. Like, he has such a wide player build. Defensively, you definitely will notice it if you play with the card. And I'm just a huge fan of Draymond. I know a lot of people like the Diamond Draymond. And now I guess we have all these good cards that Pink Diamond Dre's not talked about that much. But let me tell you, don't sleep on Pink Diamond Draymond Green because he can absolutely hold it down. Moving on to our center position, this is one position I'm going to spend up a little bit, and we're going to talk about Galaxy Opal Dirk Nowitzki. Now, he still goes for 150K right around there when I looked earlier. You might have to spend a little more, 170 possibly. But here we got a guy in Galaxy Opal Dirk Nowitzki. Guys, this card is very slept on. And the reason I say that is because he's got Hall of Fame range, and more than anything because of his release. A lot of people are talking about Jokic, a lot of people talk about, let's say, a Disney, a lot of people talk about those types of players. I don't see that many people nowadays talking about Dirk. And yes, in this squad builder, we're not going to have enough MT to get Wilt. Not going to have enough MT to get Kareem. After Wilt, after Kareem at the primary center position, if we're not talking Giannis, D-Rob, who's next? And in my opinion, it's Dirk Nowitzki. And for 150,000 MT, you're getting a guy offensively, who's one of the best offensive bigs in the game. And defensively, because he is 7 feet tall, because he can move pretty well, he's going to be able to compete with those top tier centers. So that is why Dirk Nowitzki rounds out my starting lineup as my starting center. So in my starting lineup, guys, combined all in all, we have, 300K between Grant Hill, Malik, 200K between AK and Draymond. We're looking at under 650K MT. If you want to say 650K, that's fine. We're at 650K. So that means we have 350,000 MT for our bench, which in my opinion is that, obviously you want as much MT as possible, but you can build a good bench for that amount of MT. Like I said, the point guard position, in my opinion, is the most important position on the court. So you want to make sure you have good point guards. If you want to add Tyrese Haliburton to this squad, I wouldn't fault you. If you want to add Tyrese Haliburton instead of like a Grant Hill and maybe pay up for another center, you can do what you got to do. But I think height at the point guard position is just so important. You're not going to see a guy on my roster that's less than 6'8", I think. And that's the thing for me is I absolutely think height is so important. Looking at Chris Webber, what he gives you is honestly handling the ball. There's not much there. He's a knockdown shooter. He's 6'9" and can play point guard. What else can you possibly want about Chris Webber? The thing is, the difference between him and, the Galaxy Opal Magic that people are running is Chris Webber can actually run. Chris Webber's got a better release. And in my opinion, Chris Webber's just a better all-around player. Now, again, that is my personal opinion. But for under 100K MT, right around 95K when I checked earlier, Chris Webber is a must-have for your lineup. Moving on to the backup shooting guard position, this is where we're going to spend up once again. So after Chris Webber, you're looking at 750K MT spent. Now we're talking about Galaxy Opal KD, another 200K. So far, we're looking at right around the 950K. I think if you get all these players for, a good price, you're looking at right around 950,000 MT. Now, that leaves me, 50,000 for the remaining players. And once you see my remaining players, you'll be like, yeah, you could actually make that work. But here's what I think. If you run Chris Webber, you gotta run a shooting guard that can make some plays. Because Chris Webber is not a card you're gonna want to run your offense through. And I don't say that in a negative way upon Chris Webber, but I'm just saying in regards to he's not a card in which you're going to be able to, do the pro 3 behind the back, have a pro 2 tween, run and peak like KD can. KD is 6'10", so you combine a backcourt of 6'9" and 6'10", defensively is going to be very, very solid. Both of these cards have good releases, and I think Kevin Durant's the best shooting guard in the game. I would stick by saying that I absolutely love this Kevin Durant card. So yes, I'm gonna spend up on my backup shooting guard position in KD. You guys may be wondering, why don't you start KD? Because if I use KD and Grant Hill together, then you know, one of them's gonna get 50% of the possessions, you know. And so I think, you know, you give KD 80% of the possessions, Grant Hill 80% of the possessions, your effectiveness is gonna go up quite a bit. Moving on to our starting small or a backup small forward position, we're gonna talk about Pink Diamond Andrew Wiggins here, a card for 20k MT. He has one of the best releases in the game. You combine that with Hall of Fame Showtime, and as good as he is on the defensive end, what more could you want, right? Out of a small forward position for 20,000 MT. Is he as good as a guy like Andrei Kirilenko? Probably not, just because he's not as good on the defensive end. But offensively, I like Andrew Wiggins' release is easier to green than Andrei Kirilenko's, especially without steady shooter. He has Hall of Fame Showtime, which AK doesn't have. And I mean, he comes with 27 Hall of Fame badges. So when you look at Andrew Wiggins, a lot of it is, okay, he's only a pink diamond. But here's my thing. If this Andrew Wiggins card was an opal or dark matter, he would get talked about a lot more. I trust me when I say do not sleep on Andrew Wiggins, one of my favorite budget cards in the game. The only reason he doesn't play on my no money spent squad account is he doesn't give you that much over Malik Sealy, and I have a lot of good cheap card or good free cards like a Clyde Drexler. So that's why Andrew Wiggins doesn't currently play for me, but don't sleep on Wig. Like I said, if you're gonna run Chris Webber, you're gonna want to run some guys that can make plays alongside with him. So part of that is Diamond LaMelo Ball. Now hear me out 100%. The reason I like doing this is because if, let's say, somebody is at the power forward position running Wilt Chamberlain, okay, you're gonna have Kevin Durant who can guard Wilt Chamberlain. All you gotta do is put LaMelo Ball on the opposing shooting guard, move Kevin Durant to whoever, you know, let's say the Wilt Chamberlain at power forward, and you're gonna be just fine, right? If you're worried about LaMelo Ball getting bullied, this and that, that's why you run a tall lineup alongside it. If you want to run Chris Webber guarding the opponent's forward, you can do that as well. But here's the thing about LaMelo Ball, kind of to go along with Chris Webber, Andrew Wiggins isn't necessarily that primary ball handler either, so now you got Kevin Durant and LaMelo Ball, both who can handle the ball and both, you know, be that kind of primary ball handler, primary creator. I kind of like that taking the pressure off of Chris Webber because he can't handle it like at all. And even if you look at my starting lineup, Grant Hill and Malik both can handle it a little bit. So I kind of like the way my bench is looking. Obviously, you got 3 out of position players from that set. But LaMelo Ball, with as cheap as he is, I don't think there's a better card in the game for their specific price. Now, you guys might disagree with me on LaMelo Ball. If you guys do, go watch the No Money Spent series. LaMelo Ball, I've been so effective with him, at least recently, as that kind of primary type ball handler. He is my starting power forward for right around that 10K price point. At the starting center, I had a tough time kind of coming up with this guy right here. I did. Now, the reason I'm going to go with the guy that I go with is just because of the success that I've had with him. That guy being Karl-Anthony Towns. Initially, a week ago, I would have said add Pink Diamond Magic Johnson. But my thing is, Cat can compete against the best centers in the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain. I said Wilt Chamberlain at power forward. I don't even think he can run power forward. Let's say David Robinson is who you'd have to switch the matchups for because Wilt can't run the power forward position. But let's say Cat's up against Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He is going to be able to compete at 6'11" with his defensive badges. He competes with the best centers in the game. I know a lot of people are going to talk about, well, he can't really handle the ball. Guys, he's got Unpluckable. What else do you need? Unpluckable is more important than the ball handle rating. So I'm a big Cat fan. Yes, his release isn't the quickest, might not be the easiest to time, easiest to green, but you give him range extender. He obviously has flexible. He can be just fine. He has Hall of Fame Showtime as well. So I think if you gave me $1 million MT, this is the squad I'd come up with. Again, this is all subject to opinion. If this squad goes for, you know, at the time of I did my research about 3 hours before recording this video. So if prices ever went up a little bit, then you might, I mean, it might be a little over $1 mil, might be a little under $1 mil. It just depends what happens to the prices of the auction house. To go along with that, we are getting content tomorrow, so this squad could drastically change tomorrow. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, who am I too high on that shouldn't have been on this 1 mil MT squad builder, or who am I too low on? Who should I have included in this squad that I don't have on here? Let me know that down below in the comments, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.